Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Mike Martin Show here on AM 790 WPRV on Facebook Live and on YouTube. I'm your host, Scott Credici. Glad you could join us. This portion of the Mike Martin Show brought to you by Bay Coast Bank, providing exceptional service and financial solutions for our community since 1851. Visit baycoast.bank to learn more. Well, the Bears coming off a weekend split against Harvard and Dartmouth. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We'll also be joined a little bit later on by Felix Coleman and Keno Lilly. And we'll also preview this weekend's matchup with the Big Red of Cornell up in Ithaca. But first things first, let's say hello to the head coach of the Bears, Mike Martin. Coach, how are you?
Scott, doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Well, thank you for being with us, Coach. Quick recap of last weekend's games. Friday night, you lost at home to Harvard before beating Dartmouth on Saturday. We'll start with that Friday night game, Coach. It was just one of those nights where you couldn't get the ball to go in the basket early.
Yeah, obviously a really difficult first half. We scored the first possession of the game and then didn't score again for quite some time. I thought it was a combination of a lot of things. We turned it over too much. Some possessions we got good shots, they didn't go in. Other possessions we did not get great shots, and
right.
Harvard forced us into some tough ones. So I think Harvard's defense certainly deserves credit, but you can't have a half like that in this league and expect to be in a position to win a basketball game. So we dug ourselves too big of a hole with, probably a poor at best offensive performance.
And give your defense a little bit of credit because, quite frankly, Coach, as rough as it was offensively in the first half, you could have been down by more than 21, but I think your defense kept you in that basketball game.
Yeah, there were some stretches of good defense. I thought we let Forbes get a little bit, some easy baskets around the rim. Our ball screen defense wasn't, what it needs to be. Wasn't what it was the next night against Dartmouth. And then, Sakota, got going with some threes, and he's a terrific player. We gave him and Lesmond a couple threes that you can't give those guys. They're high level shooters, and that was something that we had talked about. Let's not give those guys rhythm threes, and they got a couple, which is not what we need to do. So, there were some stretches of good defense in the first half. There were also some stretches where we didn't play great defense, and Harvard just didn't capitalize. So not a first half that we want to remember, but obviously we have to acknowledge it. And that was what we talked to the team about Saturday. We can't ignore what happened Friday night. We need to learn from it, right? And we, like we always do on the second day of a back-to-back, we started the day with watching film from Friday, and it was a very player-led film session. And what could we learn from that night to help us win on Saturday? So Harvard was the better team on Friday. They deserved to win. We did not play up to our standards.
So to follow up on that question, what did you learn? And I'm sure it's probably a combination of all of these things, but was it more just a lack of great offensive execution that led you to struggle offensively in the first half? Was it Harvard's defense that played very well? Was it a little bit of bad luck? I mean, we saw guys like T and Keno miss layups, right at the rim that just rolled off the side of the rim. But as you looked back on it and you say we want to learn from that, what did you learn?
Well, when you have a performance like that offensively in the first half, it's everything, right? It's Harvard's defense, it's our poor offense, and it was some examples of us running good offense and not capitalizing, missing easy baskets, whether it's open layups or open threes. What we focused on Saturday was, we need more movement offensively. We need less dribbling. We need less isolation basketball and more movement, screening, cutting, and really taking pride in getting your teammate an open shot. And then defensively, we needed to be in better position. We needed to be the aggressors. We needed to be more disruptive. We needed to focus on being in the right position when we're in a ball screen defensive coverage, when we're in a pin down, or just guarding the dribble, and those were the major themes we focused on Saturday morning when we got here.
Second half, your team, I thought, dug in and you made a little bit of a run. You just couldn't get over that hump, but you had to be pleased with the effort coming out of the locker room. I thought your team fought to get back in that game, but Harvard was able to kind of keep you at arm's length.
Yeah, when you're down 21, it's you better be almost perfect to come back and win the game. So we had some good stretches in the second half. I think we got it as close as 13 or 14. We started the half really well. The crowd was into it. We appreciate. Obviously, we had great student support, and on an icy evening, probably kept some people away. The students more than made up for it. And they were, our guys, like they always do. They battled, they fought until the very end, and we had some good moments defensively. We had some good moments offensively. But again, when you're down by 21 at half, you have to be almost perfect to come back and beat a good team.
Right. Now, you pointed out the student section. I'm glad you did. I thought their energy was great on Friday, and they really tried to get you guys going, and they came back out Saturday, maybe not in as great a numbers as they did on Friday night, but I thought the student presence this past weekend was great. So let's move to that Saturday night game, a 2-point win over Dartmouth, 62-60. Just your thoughts on that game.
Thought our defense was outstanding in the first half. We were disruptive. We were aggressive with our switches. We defended the three-point line really well in the first half. I think they were 2 for 11. Offensively, second night we got some good looks. Didn't go in. T had 3 great looks at 3, and none of them went in. And Dartmouth plays that way. It's a slow, low possession, half court, kind of grinded out game. We tried to get it going a little bit with some pressure in the first half, and we settled into a half court game, and I thought we started the second half much the way we played the first half defensively. We got stops, but that kind of fueled us in transition. T got some defensive rebounds, which is really key to our break. When he gets a defensive rebound, it just gets us into our break even faster. He got Jalen a couple transition dunks. He got Keno a 3. I think he had 5 of his 6 assists in the second half, and I thought he played terrific in the second half as a playmaker, as a defensive rebounder. Obviously, he hit some big free throws down the stretch, but I thought the way we defended for the first really 25, 30 minutes of the game, 30 minutes was outstanding. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a letdown for 5 minutes, and Brendan Berry took advantage of that, and as you'll talk about, they made a huge run.
Coach, I look back at Brendan Berry's performances against Brown in his career at Dartmouth, and believe it or not, we have done an excellent job on him, all things considered. Now, I know you'll say, well, he hit a big shot against us up there that kind of helped them hold us off and win that basketball game, but I think you held him to 3 of 13 from the field. This was the one game where I thought he had a decent game, but it was even in a quick spurt, right? He hit a couple of threes, boom, boom, boom. But I think overall, your team over the years has done a very good job defending him.
Yeah, our guys, and obviously we've had the fortune of having guys like Obi Akoli be able to guard him. And this year, I think we've done up there. We did a very good job. Here in the half court, it was pretty good. He got 3 of his threes early in the second half, 2 off of offensive rebounds, and 1 with them breaking our pressure. So it wasn't like out of their normal offense. And then the last couple he hit were, Perry was right on him, Pax was right on him one time, and he has that ability to do that. I mean, he can make really, really tough shots. But the biggest key, I thought, was we let him get himself going in that second half with some offensive rebound kick-out threes, which, that's the easiest shot in basketball, when an offensive rebound kick-out 3 for anybody, never mind probably the best shooter in our league, one of them, certainly, as far as just pure shooters. So he's experienced. He's a 6th-year senior. He's talented. He's tough, and those couple letdowns, allowed Dartmouth to get back in the game.
You talk about offensive rebound, kick-out threes. Jalen Gainey had one of those to Perry Count in the first half against Dartmouth, where Perry hit the 3. Jalen had a terrific weekend. Double-doubles in both games. Just a monster on the boards, altering, blocking shots. I thought he was terrific.
Yeah, he played great. And you know what? Nana being hurt, obviously meant a little bit of more time on the court for Jalen. We shuffled him in and out when he got tired. We, got him a quick break, but then wanted to try to get him right back in the game as soon as we can. I thought he was really, really good defensively, protecting the rim. I guess, I don't know what the number was, but he certainly had his fair share of block shots against both Harvard and Dartmouth. He changed a lot of shots. He defensive rebounded really well in both games. I think he had 10 or 11 defensive rebounds each night.
Yep.
And that was a huge key to us, being able to come out on top on Saturday.
So your team was up 14 with 15 minutes to go, and then down 6 with 3 minutes left in the game, but you battled with an 11-3 run to close the game. Just talk about the ebbs and flows of that second half.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, not that we ever felt like we were in control and we could let our foot off the gas pedal, but we were up 6-10 most of the game. We ended up getting it to 14 on Keno's 3 off a great pass from T. Stayed at 11. I think we were up 49-38, and then all of a sudden, Barry kick out 3 off an offensive rebound, layup for Adelican to cut it to 6. 3-point play for Adelican. All 5 of those points were when we were resting Jalen, kind of getting him a little bit of a rest in the second half, and then. Then the kid Robinson hits a 3 off a really good pass from Adelican, and then Barry hits the back-to-back 3. So it happened quick.
Yep.
It was defense. It wasn't the prolonged offensive drought that we went through Friday night and some of the other games we've had this year. Offense certainly wasn't great in that stretch. We had some turnovers, and it was almost like our guys were waiting for someone else to go make a play instead of doing it themselves, and then we did it, right? So like we quickly got out of that mode of just letting Dartmouth be the ones making the plays. It started with T making a nice pass to Jalen for a layup to cut it to 4, and then Keno hits a huge 3 off a great pass from Paxson. And then defensively we got some key turnovers, we got some huge stops down the stretch. They only scored 3 points in the last 3 minutes, and they were all on free throws, and 2 of them were us fouling them intentionally because we were up by 3 in the closing seconds, and that that's something we could talk about too. But
right.
They really didn't score on us in the last 3 minutes is my point. And we got turnovers, got T to the foul line, we got Pax to the foul line off a nice cut. Jalen got fouled off an offensive rebound. We made winning plays down the stretch, and I think our players really deserve all the credit. They stepped up and made huge plays down in the last 3-4 minutes to win that game.
Statistically, you look at the box scores, and T struggled over the weekend, but there's other ways that he can contribute and help the team. You talked about defending. You talk about defensive rebounding and how it helps you get out in transition when he gets a defensive board. He does facilitate on the offensive end as well. He's able to set up his teammates, get him the ball for open looks, and then getting to the free throw line. I mean, in that Dartmouth game is a good example. Down the stretch, T went to the line and made his free throw. So even on a night in a weekend where T Cho is struggling, there are other ways that he can and does help your basketball team.
Yeah, he was 4 for 4 from the free throw line in the last minute of the game. We were down 1 coming out of that timeout. Chemo forces the turnover. T gets the steal. He takes it right to the basket, gets fouled, makes 2. Then we get the huge stop, and against their press, T inbounds the ball to Keno. Keno got it right back to him. So T's free throw shooting is, it makes you feel obviously really confident at the end of games. Because he is our inbounder, right? He takes the ball out of bounds. He's a really good decision maker. He's inbounding it to guys like Keno and Pax, and who are high, good free throw shooters as well. But then if they get trapped like Keno did, he can always throw it right back to T,
right.
And he's shooting it at almost 80%. So those 4 free throws were huge down the stretch, and obviously he stepped up when we needed him.
You talk about your decision to foul when you're up 3 late, and I like that decision. And I know you try to wait as long as you can to get as much time to come off the clock, but at the same time, you can't wait too long where they actually get into the act of shooting. You don't want to foul them shooting a 3 and give them 3 free throws, but that certainly worked out for you. And as Russ and I said in the broadcast, people don't understand how hard it is to intentionally miss a free throw, right? When you spend your whole life trying to make free throws and practicing making free throws, when you get into a game and you want to miss one, I've seen what happened the other night happen many times. Guys try to rifle it off the rim and they don't catch any iron. It just hits the backboard.
Yeah, and obviously I think the numbers would say that it's fairly close to 50-50, whether you should foul or should defend in that stage. Our philosophy here has always been we're going to foul when we're up 3 late. It's got to make sure it makes the right sense from a timing standpoint. We got to be confident that we have a good enough rebounding team. We have to be confident that we have a good enough free throw shooting team if we're going to do that. So it was interesting. T put us up by 3 with 15.4 to go. which I'm not crazy about fouling that quickly. We went with a little bit of a soft press to try to slow them down a little bit, and then David Mitchell made a really heads-up play, which we had talked about. He fouled as they started getting to a scoring area, but before they were ready to shoot it, with about 7.5 seconds left, which we're comfortable with that. And then we had to make sure we got the defensive rebound if they missed the second one. Now they missed the first, they missed the second, they missed the first, made the second. So a lot has to happen for us to go into overtime if we execute the right way up by 3. They got to make the first, they have to miss the second, they have to get the rebound, and then they have to score. We ended up doing it twice because Paxson made one of 2. When we were up by 2. Instead of going up by 4, we only went up by 3. And then that was an interesting one, too, because they had to go full court 1.7. And that was we were going to foul or not, depending on where they caught that first pass on their press break with 1.7 to go. They caught it on their side of half court, so that was our decision. We were going to foul. So
I loved on the first time you elected to foul when David Mitchell committed the foul. I loved the play that you designed coming out of the timeout to break their pressure. I think you had Lilly inbounding it, but you had T step across the baseline, and he passed it to T, who then became the inbound passer. You ended up, breaking that, getting the ball into the front court before they eventually fouled. Was it Wojcik, I think, on the play? But well-designed play, and I say that because, Coach, I think sometimes when you become so wary of, okay, we have to deny, force a turnover. But sometimes you forget when a guy hops out of bounds and all of a sudden he gets the ball, now what do I do defensively, right? That can mess up a defense a little bit when you do it that way.
Yeah, I think Dartmouth was ready for that. We've done that against them in the past, and so they were hip to Keno stepping in bounds. They took him away.
Yep.
But you have to have more than one option if you're going to run a press break like that, and you have to have the right guy taking it out that can make the read and make the right decision. So he quickly went from Keno as an option to Pax to then all of a sudden realizing Dartmouth had brought 3 or 4 guys up, and Kemo was wide open at the top of the key, and he made a good pass, and then we got it back to T, I think, and then he hit ahead to Pax, and we were able to go from 7.5 on the clock to less than 2 seconds. That was key.
So last question. It was supposed to be Alumni Weekend, but unfortunately because of the ice storm and COVID, a lot of people had trouble getting in town for the alumni game, which was canceled on Saturday afternoon. But there were some alumni in. They had a nice gathering upstairs, and I know you addressed them before the start of the game. Did you not?
Yeah, we had a great crowd upstairs. We had Bay Coast Bank, corporate sponsor, brought a group of people, and then we had quite a few alumni who were in town. We just some people weren't able to make it because of because of the weather, but we had a really good contingent, especially guys from the 80s and 90s, and it was good to see all them before the game, and I'm glad that they were able to see us pull out a big win Saturday night.
All right, so we'll take a timeout. When we come back on the Mike Martin Show, we'll be joined by Felix Coleman and Keno Lilly when we continue with the Mike Martin Show right after this.
The British! They're here!
Sir, this is our Bay Coast Bank interactive teller machine, not the British. With our local ITM personal bankers, you can cash checks, make loan payments, and deposit or withdraw funds with extended hours beyond regular branch hours.
Genius!
Thank you!
I would like to make a withdrawal.
Great! How much?
12 shillings, please.
Elite Physical Therapy is a proud partner of Brown Bears Athletics. Achieving elite levels of performance is a pursuit held by all athletes, so we wanted to know how members of Brown's coaching staff defined elite.
Elite means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but I would say it's somebody who's pursuing their potential to the absolute ends. And so, for some people that might mean, the Olympic Games and pursuing medals, and for other people that might mean trying to get onto the roster, to travel to HEPS and our Ivy League championship and to score a point for the team by the time they're a senior. So everybody's potential lies in a different place, but if you're truly pursuing your potential to the absolute end, then that's what being elite is to me.
Now taking off, Breeze Airways with nice, new and non-stop flights to Pittsburgh, Charleston, and Norfolk. Only on Breeze Airways.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The British! They're here!
Sir, this is our Bay Coast Bank interactive teller machine, not the British. With our local ITM personal bankers, you can cash checks, make loan payments, and deposit or withdraw funds with extended hours beyond regular branch hours.
Genius!
Thank you.
I would like to make a withdrawal.
Great. How much?
12 shillings, please.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
Welcome back to the Mike Martin Show here on AM 790 WPRV and Facebook Live, also on YouTube. I'm your host, Scott Credici. This portion of the program is brought to you by the Brown University Sports Foundation. Through your donations and the work of our volunteers, the Brown Sports Foundation is committed to providing funding and support to Brown athletics that enhance the student-athlete experience. Thank you for your generosity and service to Brown athletics. All right, time right now to talk to a couple of guys in this year's team. To my immediate right, we have sophomore guard Felix Coleman. Felix, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for joining us. And to your right, we have freshman guard Keno Lilly. Keno, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, thank you guys both for joining us on the show. And Felix, we'll start with you. From Ipswich, Massachusetts.
Yes, sir.
But you went to the Pingree School. By the way, did you ever go to Ipswich, like high or anything like that, or not?
Yeah, so the way it's worked, I've kind of just followed my parents around as they're both teachers. So my mom taught at Ipswich Middle School, which is why I went there, and then my dad teaches at Pingree for high school, which is why I eventually ended up at Pingree.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I asked that question because I went to Pentucket High School, so I was in the Cape Ann League, and we played Ipswich. They were one of our rivals.
Yeah, I definitely played you guys in some middle school ball. So.
And I have to tell you this, by the way, my son plays locally at Providence Country Day, and his team comes to a lot of your games. And some of the guys are big fans of yours. Like I guess they watched you at Pingree. They're like, man, he can play. What's he doing on the bench?
Happy to say I made my mark at least. Yeah.
All right. Keno, congratulations to you. Your career here at Brown is off to a really nice start.
Thank you.
It seems like you've assimilated nicely to the college game. Like, for some people it can be an adjustment, right? And you came in and you've made an impact right away.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought I was going to struggle. To be honest, I did. But, Coach Martin, he put me in the right position to do what I do. So
yeah,
I just try.
And so talk a little bit about, you're from Glendale, Maryland. I know you played football and basketball in high school at the Landon School, right?
Right.
What position did you play in football?
Quarterback.
Really?
Yes.
QB1.
All right. See, I did not know that. See, I'm looking at you. I'm like, kind of small to play football, but then again, I was probably about your size in high school. This is what happens when you get old. You put on a little weight. I was probably like 6'1" and probably 140, 145 pounds soaking wet. But was basketball always your primary sport?
I used to think I was always better at basketball, so I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. Did you have options to play football at the next level?
I did not have any offers to play football.
No.
But I feel like if I played one more year, the senior year, I feel like I could have got some, at least one school.
Felix, how about you? Basketball always been your primary sport?
Yeah, I did soccer until my sophomore year. I played goalie, and then I got kicked in the head, got a concussion, and that was enough of that for me. So I just kind of shifted my focus over to basketball. But, little spike ball on the side, a little ping pong. I try to keep some other sports in the mix. So.
Got you. So spike ball and ping pong, we consider those sports, not games, right?
Yeah, I guess that's
actually ping pong's like an Olympic sport, isn't it? Like Summer Olympics.
Yeah, on the Olympics, it's crazy, just back and forth, back and forth.
Man, we're gonna have to find a ping pong table. I haven't played in a long time, but
I
had a table growing up, so
I'm always up for a match. Yeah,
I'm in. Well, guys, look, I know this season, particularly in Ivy League play, hasn't gone the way that we would have hoped. From your perspective, right? You guys live it every day. What do you think? Where do you think are the areas that we've come up short? Felix, I'll start with you. You know what I mean? I know this team has a ton of talent, and I feel like record-wise, we should be 6 or 7 wins in the Ivy League, right? Just giving your perspective.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. Super talented team, and all the guys really like each other, so it's not like a chemistry issue or anything like that. I just think really banding together, I think against our win this past weekend, we finally really came together when it mattered most against Dartmouth down the stretch. And I feel like in past games, maybe we weren't as much of a cohesive unit down the stretch, or just whatever small thing it was here and there. So I feel like we really banded together this last game, and now we're really ready to make a strong push down this final stretch of the season.
Keno, I know last week against Harvard we had the struggles offensively in the first half. We've had that a couple of times this year, not to that degree, but we've gone through little maybe 4, 5, 6, 8-minute scoring droughts, where we just haven't scored the basketball consistently like we normally do. But what do you attribute that to? Is it a little bad luck, or?
I would say it's mostly bad luck. I wouldn't say it's talent or execution on offense. I would just say the ball's just not going in the hole.
Yeah, because I look at a guy like yourself who obviously can score the basketball, I don't want to say pretty easily, but I think you can. And, like in the first half against Harvard, I know UNT got to the rim and layups just rolled off the side of the rim. To me, that's bad luck, right? But when you look at this team and what you think it's capable of, what do you think this team is capable of when you're clicking on all cylinders?
If we're clicking on all cylinders, I think we can win a championship. I think we can win out, play in the Ivy League tournament, win the championship, and shock the world.
Felix, you guys have to take it one game at a time, though, right? Even though you want to look at the big picture, you want to say, okay, here's where we are in the standings, here's where we need to be, we got this many games. You can't really look at it that way, right? You have to look at Cornell this Saturday.
Yeah, that's been a big focus in practice and just in the locker room. Obviously we all want to hang that banner, but that can't happen without each individual step along the journey. So yeah, it's all about the process.
Speaking of Cornell, so we had them here just a couple of weeks ago, and in the first half they came out, took a pretty big lead on you guys, and you guys really came roaring back in the second half, and unfortunately they won it with a putback at the buzzer by Kobe Dixon. What do you remember about that game? First of all, I know you prepare for their style of play up and down, but as much as you prepare for it, was it a little eye-opening once the game started? Were you ready for that type of, speed and so forth?
Well, they did. Coaches did tell us about how fast they played, but actually playing against it is very different. I know.
Yeah.
First 4 minutes, I was dead tired. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was dead tired. It was eye-opening, I would say that. But I feel like since we played them already and get to play them again, I feel like we'll be prepared.
Yeah, you guys, whatever it was at halftime, you guys adjusted to their pace of play, and you really settled into the game. I thought your 1-2-2 press kind of got you guys back into the game as well. But my point is, it didn't look like the speed at which they play was a factor at all in the second half of the game. Would you agree with that?
I would. I feel like our 1-2-2 put them. We started applying pressure instead of them started applying pressure to us.
Right.
So I feel like that would be good for us this week.
Right. Felix, I see here that you enjoy improv comedy. This is on your bio, by the way. So this is you doing improv? I mean, have you done stand-up before?
Just to be honest, that was something I took a elective in high school, an improv class. I had a good time with it. Since I've gotten to Brown, I haven't been able to pursue that passion, but it was something I really enjoyed in high school with all my friends.
So I've asked this question of a few of your teammates on the show in previous shows, and I say, like, who's the funniest guy in the team? And I get different answers, but your name has come up, and so is yours. And I was surprised to hear yours because you're kind of a quiet, unassuming dude. So you kind of cracking jokes behind the scene, Keno, or what?
I make some subtle jokes here and there.
Yeah.
K10's being humble. K10 is a very funny. Yeah.
Now,
funny person in the locker room.
Now, last week Malachi brought up JG, which is a guy I wouldn't think of either. But JG's like the most fun-loving guy you'll ever meet. Like, is he ever not happy? I've never seen him without a smile on his face.
No, yeah, JG's always smiling.
Nah, JG's my guy.
Yeah.
JG's my guy. He's hilarious.
He's a real good guy. You know, Keno, I've had the pleasure of meeting your mom and your dad. In fact, I met your mom, I think, for the first time this past week. But I know your dad's been at a lot of your games, and that's going to be cool, to see him, make a lot of your games, and you're only a freshman.
Yeah, it's great. Being away from them for the first time, coming to college, it's been a little difficult, but he tries to come to all the games. Makes me feel good. And get to see the family.
What's it been like, and, really for both of you, I know you're a little bit closer to home, but what's it been like your freshman year? I hear the words time management all the time, right, between taking classes, doing your homework, and then being a part of a basketball team, which in itself is like a full-time job. Is that one of the biggest keys? You have to learn how to manage your time?
Yeah, I would say that's definitely been like the main thing for me so far since I got here. Like last year, obviously with no season, we were still practicing a lot, working out a lot, so I kind of got to like feel it out, what was the right balance for me, which has been super helpful for this year, just like getting things squared away and knowing what I need to put first and like how to budget my time. So that's definitely been like a big aspect of life.
What about you?
It's the same thing. Probably time management and probably communication. Talking to the teachers, telling you're going to miss class with the travel schedule and stuff like that.
Yep, like this weekend, heading out on Friday to go up to Cornell because we have a Saturday afternoon game up there.
Right.
So talk a little bit, Felix, about, you mentioned the COVID year, not having a season last year. What was that like? That's probably the first time in how many years of your life that you haven't had a basketball season?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I just looked at it as trying my best to just control the controllables. I mean, obviously I can't control whether Ivy League decides to have like a season or not. So for me, I just try to use the time to like gear myself up for this season and like try to make that translation to the college game as smooth as possible with the help of all those extra workouts in the spring and summer and practices. So, I mean, I honestly look at it as kind of an advantage. Obviously, would much rather play games, be out there on the court, but like the way it helped me just kind of adjust from high school to college and then before the actual season started really helped me out.
Kind of eased you into your collegiate career.
Exactly.
Yeah, and what was that like last year when, you guys were able to have, workouts? At first it was like individual, then in small groups, and then as a team. What was that whole process like?
I mean, to be honest, like when I was in it, I was just like wake up, go to practice. It was just my schedule. I didn't really think much of it. But now having seen Brown more like open and like with more things going on, I'm like, wow, like I was really just in my room going to practice. I mean, there was much fewer guys at practice. I think we had like 7 or 8 guys most of the time. So like it's been eye-opening this year. But I mean, it was great. I mean, it was really hard work. I was like the best shape I've ever been in my life. It got me in great shape. So it was all good stuff.
Keno, what were your expectations coming out of high school and coming here? Because, not a lot of players as first-year players get to come in and play a lot of minutes right away, right? Sometimes you might have a little bit of a role off the bench. Sometimes it's just not there right away. You might have to wait it until you're a sophomore, junior, or senior. What were your expectations coming out of high school? Did you feel like you could come here and get on the floor right away?
I did. I was confident in myself. I came out at least... Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
When I first came here, I did not expect to play all of these minutes.
Right.
I probably expected like 15, 20 minutes coming out. But since the first scrimmage at... Who did we play?
Was it Hartford?
Hartford.
Yeah.
I really just set the tone there and tried to play off that because I think I played pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that the coaches noticed about you right away was you're just a terrific shooter, right? I mean, I would argue you might be the best shooter on the team. And I think anytime somebody possesses that skill, you're going to get on the floor. So what I like about your game is you're not necessarily one of those one-dimensional guys that can only shoot the three. Many times you'll take it by a defender if they're up on you, and you'll hit that, maybe floater in the lane or go into the basket. Is that important for you to have kind of that in your repertoire because, it makes you harder to defend?
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying always not to be one-dimensional. I was when I was younger. I had to develop my game. Since I was smaller, I couldn't do as much as bigger people, so I just had to expand my game, make it all-dimensional.
Felix, I don't know about you, but anytime I see this guy get an open look from three, like when we move the ball around, all of a sudden it gets to him and he's wide open in the corner, I expect it to go in.
No, yeah. If there was someone on the team who had to shoot a shot to save my life, I think I'm going with K10. Yeah.
Now, what about you from your perspective? As I've said to guys in the past too, everybody that is recruited to play a Division I sport invariably was a star on his or her high school team. But when you get here, now you're on a team with 17 guys that were all stars in high school. So there's only 5 spots on the floor. I know you'd like to play more minutes, right? But you do what you can in practice to kind of prove yourself, and hopefully your time will come. Does it take patience? I mean, how do you deal with that, not being able to play the minutes that you did play, for instance, in high school?
Yeah, I mean, my view on it is just like there's no easy route. So, I mean, just putting my head down, just continuing to, like I said, control what I can control. Get the extra shots up I need to get up, get in the gym late night, whatever it is, just to continue to put in the work to put myself in that position. I don't need to get ready. I can just stay ready when that time comes.
I'm sure you both had options coming out of high school. And Felix, I'll start with you. Who were some of the schools recruiting you, and how'd you wind up here at Brown? What made this the right choice for you?
So, yeah, my recruitment was actually a little bit later. It was like my senior year. I think it was late January when I got the opportunity to come play here. I was either looking at NESCAC schools or I was looking to do a post-grad year. So I was looking at some schools like Cushing, Vermont Academy to go do like extra year of high school, try to put myself in a better position for recruitment. But then obviously Brown, perfect opportunity. So I pounced on that. But yeah.
Keno, how about you? Who were you recruited by out of high school, and how'd you wind up here? What made Brown the right choice?
Well, I was recruited. It was kind of opposite of Felix. I was recruited kind of early. Summer going into junior year.
Yep.
I had Merrimack, Stony Brook, Mount St. Mary's, and Bryant. And Brown came. It was the first Ivy League school. They showed a lot of interest in me. I mean, it's Ivy League. It's kind of hard to pass up on. I had to make the right decision to come here.
One thing I've noticed, and I forget who it was I was talking to about this, but there's a lot of good high school players that come out of the state of Maryland. Like, we talk about the DMV area, but Maryland, to me in particular, like, I feel like sometimes we play teams and I look at their best player and he's from Maryland. Our all-time leading scorer who's behind us, Earl Hunt, is from Rockville, Maryland. You're from Maryland. Is high school basketball pretty good in your state?
Yeah. I would say the WCAC is probably the most competitive high school conference in the nation. And then we have the IAC, who's not far behind.
Yeah.
The MAC. So we have a lot of good conferences in there.
So you were looking to go into prep school too. I mean, the New England prep school circuit is pretty good.
Yeah. So Pingree was actually like NEPSAC, the New England prep school, like you said.
What division?
B. That was Class B. So
B.
definitely
Okay. My
B,
son's
yeah.
C, I think.
Yeah. So definitely not up there with like the big dogs and all that stuff. But
right.
Once you get up to like A, AA, AAA, I mean, the competition is pretty crazy. So
right.
A lot of college recruits.
So what's your first year, Keno? I mean, what's been the best part for you? I mean, is it game day? Do you like the road trips, traveling with the team, being just with the guys? I mean, what's been your favorite part about your first year here at Brown?
Probably the road trips or being in the locker room with the guys. Just being around the guys. They're really fun to be around. They're hilarious. So
yeah,
I always enjoy my time with them.
What about you?
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. Just all like the little moments, whether it be on the bus, in the locker room, just from place to place, just being with everybody is great.
Obviously I see it traveling with you guys, but I hear it from a lot of your teammates as well that this is a pretty tight-knit group.
Yeah, it's definitely like a unique team for me. I've never been on a team where everyone gelled and like there's no issues, and yeah, so I mean it's been a great team to just be a part of this year.
Yeah, same with me. This is probably the tightest team I've been on. You know, we always around each other, so, I mean, it's great to be around them.
All right, let's get away from the basketball talk for a second. What's your favorite spot on Thayer Street, your go-to spot?
My go-to spot on Thayer, that's a good one. I'd probably have to go with Baja's.
Baja's?
Yeah.
How about you?
Mike's
Calzones. All right, two good. You know what? You picked my top two favorite spots right there on Thayer Street. I like it. All right, best. Do you guys eat more at the Ratty or the V-Dub?
I'm right next to the Ratty, so I'm always at the Ratty.
Yep.
I'm right next to V-Dub, so.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, so what's the best food they have in the Ratty and the best food they have in the V-Dub?
At the Ratty, I got to go with the chicken wings, the wing bar. Yeah.
They have a wing bar there? See, I haven't been to the Ratty in a couple of years since before COVID. They used to have pizza that was pretty good, too.
Yeah, they have pizza there. I haven't eaten the pizza in a while, but the wings are definitely my personal favorite.
Okay, how about at the V-Dub?
It's probably when they had the smoky barbecue chicken. That's good.
That does sound good.
Or the chicken tenders.
All right, when you guys aren't either in class, studying, or practicing or playing basketball, what do you like to do with your downtime, your free time?
Recently, Chemo's my roommate, so me and Chemo been getting into chess a little bit. We've been playing a little bit of chess. Like I said, spike ball or ping pong, and then I watch a lot of football. Patriots. Obviously, season's over, but
there you go.
Yeah.
How about you, Keno?
I'm not as active as Felix. I'll probably just.
Just like the rest. Some guys like to sleep, man. When you're in college, sleep is a valuable asset.
100%.
I love to sleep.
I hear you. Believe me, I was your age once, if you can believe that. It also says in your bio, by the way, that you enjoy participating in radio and podcasts. Now, besides this show, when else have you participated in radio or podcasts?
Yeah, so my senior year, every senior has to do a project, and you can do it individually or with a group. And my group of friends, we did like a podcast. I think it was like 7 episodes, and it was like 3 of us. We just had different students come on, talk about their experiences. It was more just like chatting it up. It wasn't really too formal.
Just like everyday life, not nothing specific.
Yeah, but it's definitely something I'm interested in. I feel like a lot of people say it, but I mean, yeah, it's something I've definitely looked at before.
And radio and or podcast.
Yeah, either or, honestly. Yeah.
Well, then you need to start working with us.
No, I know. I got a great resource right here.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Off season, we'll get you hooked up. Maybe we'll get you doing some color for different Brown athletic events.
Let me know. Yeah, tell me what to do, and I'm on it. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, I mean, look, you can send us to break if you want. If you're really that much of a radio guy, you want to send the show to a break?
All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back after this brief message from our local sponsors.
The British! They're here!
Sir, this is our Bay Coast Bank interactive teller machine, not the British. With our local ITM personal bankers, you can cash checks, make loan payments, and deposit or withdraw funds with extended hours beyond regular branch hours.
Genius!
Thank you.
I would like to make a withdrawal.
Great. How much?
12 shillings, please.
My name is Mick Young Mobilia. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I just knew that something wasn't right. So I ended up calling Rhode Island Medical Imaging, and they gave me an appointment right away. They were able to fit me right in, and that's where they found out that I had breast cancer. It's a miracle that they found it. Whoever the radiologist is, they basically saved my life. Had they not found it, it could have gotten a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse the following year because I have invasive ductal carcinoma, and I already had 1 lymph node involvement. I couldn't even say the word breast cancer. So the fact that RIMI can provide a place where when you walk in, when you're so scared that you don't know where your life is going, and you walk in there, just the environment itself, you can relax. I'm glad that they look at every film individually. It's more than just a film that they're looking at, that they see a human behind it. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Dr. Hillstrom, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You can have all the money in the world, but you know what? Breast cancer doesn't see that. So for me, it's to enjoy every day of your life. My name is Mick Young Mobilia, and I am the luckiest girl on this earth.
Now taking off, Breeze Airways with nice, new, and non-stop flights to Pittsburgh, Charleston, and Norfolk. Only on Breeze Airways.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The British! They're here!
Sir, this is our Bay Coast Bank interactive teller machine, not the British. With our local ITM personal bankers, you can cash checks, make loan payments, and deposit or withdraw funds with extended hours beyond regular branch hours.
Genius!
Thank you.
I would like to make a withdrawal.
Great. How much?
12 shillings, please.
Welcome back to the Mike Martin Show here on AM 790 WPRV on Facebook Live and on YouTube. I'm your host, Scott Credici. This final segment of the Mike Martin Show tonight is brought to you by TicketSmarter. Nothing beats the power and excitement of live events like TicketSmarter. For all the best sports, concerts, and theater events, visit TicketSmarter.com or on the app. TicketSmarter, proud to be the official ticket resale marketplace of Brown Athletics. TicketSmarter, a smarter way to buy tickets. All right, Coach, back on the road this weekend. You head up to Ithaca, New York to take on the Big Red of Cornell on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, a team you just met a couple of weeks ago here at the Pits. What I remember about that game was obviously they came out and had a real solid first half here. You guys fought back, had a chance to win it, and then Dixon got the a tip-in of his own miss at the buzzer, the putback. But I felt like after that first half where they kind of, got you pretty good, you guys really settled into the game and got back into it with that 1-2-2 zone full court pressure.
Yeah, but and like we talked about after the game, it's a 40-minute game. So I think, what they did in the first half versus what we did in the second half are equally as important. They're playing really good basketball. They just had a great win against Princeton Friday night, close loss to Penn on Saturday. They're really well coached. They've got great depth. They've got good talent. It almost feels like one of the old travel partner games, playing Yale and then Yale the very next week. We have 1 week in between the two games, obviously, where we played Harvard Dartmouth, they played Princeton Penn, but it's very quick turn playing the same team again. So we'll certainly watch the game that we just played against them. We've already seen what they did against Princeton and Penn. We'll look at some other games as well. Obviously, they got the game versus Columbia this week as well, the midweek game. So we will. We'll have to be ready. I mean, they're playing really good, really well, I should say. They're very good at home, and it's going to be really important for us to get off to a great start. It's going to be really important for us to keep them out of transition, and it's going to be really important for us to protect the paint. They had too many easy layups at the rim in the first game. We've got to do a great job guarding them from the paint out.
I know it's a catch-22 when you go with the full court press. which I thought helped you in the second half of that game. But the downside of that is you don't want to give up easy buckets with your pressure, right? If they can dissect your press, they can get easy buckets and get numbers down the other end. But it seemed like you slowed their pace with that press a little bit, maybe slowed them down in terms of, how they like to play.
Yeah, we did at times, but if you don't score or if there's no dead ball, you're not going to be able to press. So, we've got to make sure our transition defense, with or without the press, is on point. We've got to be terrific in that way against Cornell. I do think, if you are able to have some defensive versatility and give them some different looks, I think that can help. But we're going to have to get stops in the half court. We're going to have to keep them out of transition, and we're going to have to execute our man-to-man defense, get stops in the half court. And then, we've got to score. The first half we played them last time, it was like a 37-possession half. We only scored 25 points. That's just not good enough offensively. And we've got to be way better against them offensively this weekend.
Chris Manning was named Ivy League Rookie of the Week. Boy, he had a heck of a week and good performances against Princeton and Penn.
He's terrific. He's 6'5", playmaking wing for them. He's tough. He gets downhill. He can make a shot. He's a good passer. Princeton played a little 1-3-1 zone. He kind of picked it apart. He got 3 straight assists in the second half of that game. He's a really good one for them. He's probably one of their better playmakers. But then they also have Dixon, who's a terrific playmaker as a center. They have Dean Knoll, who's playing at a really high level, and then they've got a bunch of guys who can make shots and/or drive it around those guys. So we have to. We all have to be ready to go. We have to make sure, again, we build our defense from the paint out. It starts in transition. And in the half court, we've got to make sure that they're not comfortable. If they're comfortable, you're in trouble. Yeah. We've got to make them uncomfortable.
They've been pretty tough up there at Newman Arena, too. 8-1 on their home floor. That loss to Penn was their first home loss of the season.
Yeah, no, they're good. And they're good. Home road, they're good. They're a good basketball team. They came right in here and beat us. So, we've been a good road team this year. I expect us to be. We've had a good week of practice. We feel really good about what we need to do. Now it's a matter of going to do it.
Yeah. When I look at them, Coach, and I watched a lot of their games in the non-conference when they got off to the good start, I wanted to say, hey, what's going on up there? And I say this in all due respect because I think they do have some talented players. We just talked about Chris Manning. But I feel like the sum might be greater than the individual parts. They're playing so well as a team, if that makes sense, right? You look at the roster, you say, I don't know if I necessarily see any first-team All-Ivy players on there, but I'll tell you what, collectively as a group, they play well.
Well, a couple things. I think first and foremost, Brian's an outstanding coach, and I think him and his staff have looked at what they have, and they've figured out a great style for them to be successful with this year's team. So, different from styles from what they've done in the past, but the fact that Brian Earl is doing the job he's doing with them is not a surprise. He's a terrific coach. Secondly, they may not jump off the page with first-team All-Ivy guys from a statistics standpoint, but that's because they play so many guys. When you play 12 guys, not a lot of guys are playing big minutes, so their numbers might not jump off the page at you. I know when I watch them play, they got a lot of guys that I have a ton of respect for as players and competitors, and they play like Brian did. Brian was a tough competitor who played with an edge, and he's got a team that reflects who he is as a competitor. So it's going to be a great challenge. We're confident. We believe we can go up there and win the game, but we're going to have to play really well.
So with the game Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that changes your plans for Friday, right? You leave campus a little bit earlier, you practice on the way up there, maybe stop halfway, practice, and then continue on to Ithaca?
Yeah, it's a 2 o'clock game, so we can't, we'll have to leave early on Friday to get in there at a reasonable hour. And it's, I like 2 o'clock games. I like waking up and playing and, get the guys who want to get a little shoot around, get a little work in early Saturday morning can do it. Guys who want to sleep, they can do that. And then we'll get together for a team walkthrough and breakfast and get our stuff ready and go get a win on Saturday afternoon. It's I like when we do have these single weekends. I like playing early.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Good luck against the Big Red.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, that'll do it for the Mike Martin Show this week. My thanks to the head coach of the Bears. Also want to thank both Keno Lilly and Felix Coleman for joining us. For the head coach of the Bears, Mike Martin, my name is Scott Credici. Thanks for joining us, everybody.